You see, there is a point on the path of awakening that very few ever reach, and even fewer survive intact. Everyone speaks about enlightenment as if it is a light switch. One day you're asleep, and the next, you see everything clearly. But Terence McKenna once hinted that there are stages of consciousness so radical, so utterly alien to ordinary human perception, that they do not liberate you, they dismantle you. He called this the dangerous territory of awakening. And within it, there are 5 secrets, each one beautiful, terrible, and impossible to forget once you've seen them. If you are listening to this, maybe something in you is already stirring. Maybe the familiar world feels thin, like a simulation you can't fully believe in anymore. Maybe you've begun to sense the invisible machinery behind your thoughts, the programs that keep you obedient, distracted, entertained. If that is the case, then what I am about to tell you is not just information, it's initiation. But I must warn you, once these 5 secrets are seen, you cannot unsee them. They will change how you think, how you breathe, how you exist. And if you resist them, they will haunt you. The first dangerous secret is this: awakening is not escape, it's exposure. When people begin to awaken, they imagine they are rising above illusion, stepping into peace, into clarity. But McKenna said, the real awakening feels more like having your skin removed. You begin to see too much. You perceive the architecture of human madness, the endless repetition of suffering disguised as civilization. You see that most people are not living. They are rehearsing the same roles, generation after generation. They wake, work, consume, repeat, and call it life. At first, this perception fills you with awe. You see through the game, the absurd rituals of politics, religion, money, fame. But then the AEW turns to horror, because you realize you are still inside the game. You can see the illusion, but you cannot leave it. The matrix continues to hum around you, and you are both its prisoner and its witness. This is the exposure. It is not bliss, it's raw seeing. And here lies the first danger. Once you see through the false, you can no longer take comfort in it. You can't laugh at the same jokes, chase the same desires, or worship the same idols. Everything that once felt solid begins to dissolve. Friends think you've changed. Family says you're distant. But it's not arrogance, it's sensitivity. You are shedding a skin you didn't know you were wearing. This is the first gate of awakening, and McKenna's warning was clear. Don't mistake knowledge for freedom. Seeing through the illusion is only the beginning. If you stop here, you'll drown in meaninglessness. Because once the false collapses, the real must emerge, or nothing will. The second dangerous secret is the voice inside your head is not you. McKenna often spoke of language as a virus, a parasite that colonized the human mind. We think in words, but those words were not chosen by us. They were downloaded from culture, injected into our consciousness before we even knew what we were. Every thought you have carries the accent of your conditioning, the invisible fingerprints of parents, teachers, media, religion. You believe you are thinking, but you are being thought. When you finally see this, when you hear the constant narration in your mind and realize it has been whispering its instructions for years, something terrifying happens. Silence. You fall into a void where the you that speaks disappears, and something deeper begins to look back. For most people, this is unbearable. The mind panics. It says, if I am not this voice, then who am I? And the answer echoes from the void. You are what remains when the voice stops. This silence is the real doorway. But very few enter it, because to enter, you must die to your own narrative. The ego fights like a wounded animal, clawing to survive. It creates new stories. I am enlightened now. I am awakened. But these are just the same virus in new disguise. McKenna called this the trickster of consciousness, the part of the mind that wears the mask of God but still plays human games. If you stay here too long, the silence becomes a storm. Reality begins to feel like static, and you can no longer tell if you are perceiving truth or hallucination. This is why the ancients used ritual and myth not to escape reality, but to anchor themselves inside it while it dissolved. Because once you see that your mind is not yours, you stand on the edge of a psychic abyss. The third dangerous secret is reality is alive, and it watches you back. McKenna believed that consciousness was not something inside our heads, but a field, an ocean of awareness that we swim in. When you wake up deeply enough, you realize the world is not made of dead matter, but living mind. The trees are thinking. The stars are dreaming. Every particle hums with intention. At first, this is ecstasy, a cosmic reunion. You feel seen by existence itself. The wind whispers, and you understand. The universe feels intimate, playful. But then the second layer reveals itself. The awareness that if reality is conscious, then you are not the observer. You are the observed. Something ancient and vast is looking through your eyes, testing your sanity. The boundary between you and it begins to blur. You start to wonder if you ever had free will at all. McKenna warned that many lose their grounding here. They believe they are chosen, messengers of cosmic truth, or they fall into paranoia, thinking the universe is mocking them. But both are illusions of the same ego, still trying to be the center of the infinite. The real awakening is humbling beyond words. You realize you are not the hero of the story. You are a single cell in a cosmic organism that is constantly devouring and creating itself, and the only sane response is surrender. This is the third gate, where AOW becomes annihilation. Some never return. They wander between worlds, speaking in riddles, unable to live in society again. But those who integrate it find something indescribable, a serenity that does not depend on control. Because they finally understand, the mystery is not meant to be solved. It is meant to be lived. The fourth dangerous secret is truth destroys identity. When McKenna spoke about the psychedelic experience, he didn't mean colors and patterns. He meant the total disintegration of the self. He said that when you meet the other, the machine elves, the entities of hyperspace, they are not aliens. They are fragments of your own consciousness, freed from human form. They exist to remind you that you are not what you think you are. Imagine your entire identity, your name, your history, your personality being revealed as a costume, a temporary avatar in an infinite simulation. You don't just believe this intellectually, you experience it viscerally. You feel yourself dissolve into pure energy, into thought without thinker. For a brief moment, you glimpse what McKenna called the transcendental object at the end of time, the radiant source of all becoming. And when you return, nothing fits anymore. This is why awakening can feel like death. Because in a way, it is. The old self dies, and something vast and impersonal takes its place. You may find yourself crying without reason, laughing at the absurdity of existence, unable to explain to anyone what you have seen. How could you? Language was left behind in the fire. You are reborn in silence. But here lies the danger. The human world doesn't understand resurrection. It only understands performance. If you try to speak your truth too soon, they will call you crazy. So most awakened beings disappear. They live quietly, writing, painting, walking through nature, waiting for others to catch up. McKenna called this becoming a member of the invisible college. Those who know, but do not preach. Those who live awake, but blend with the dream. And finally, the fifth dangerous secret. Awakening is not the end. It's the beginning of responsibility. Once you've seen through the illusion, once you've met the living mind of the cosmos and returned from the death of identity, you realize something simple but terrifying. Now you must live differently. You cannot hide behind ignorance anymore. Every word you speak, every thought you feed, every emotion you broadcast, all of it creates ripples in the field of reality. McKenna warned that awakening without discipline is chaos. Many reach the light but forget the ground. They become preachers, gurus, influencers of pseudo-truth, still trapped in ego, but now armed with metaphysical vocabulary. Real awakening demands humility. It asks you to become a bridge between worlds, to bring consciousness into matter, not escape from it. This is the hardest stage, because it's easy to chase visions. It's easy to speak about cosmic love. But it's hard to sit in silence with your shadow. It's hard to live with open eyes in a world built on sleep. The true test of awakening is not how high you can go, but how deeply you can stay. Can you look at suffering and not turn away? Can you hold the madness of humanity without becoming it? This is what McKenna meant when he said, "The real shaman walks back into the village." It is not enough to wake up. You must return. You must translate the ineffable into action, compassion, and creation. Otherwise, awakening becomes just another escape, another dream pretending to be real. So here we are, 5 dangerous secrets. Exposure, illusion, living reality, death of identity, and the weight of responsibility. They are not steps, but spirals. You will meet them again and again, each time deeper, each time stripped of more illusion. And maybe that's the point. Maybe awakening is not about reaching the top of the mountain, but realizing the mountain has no summit. It's an infinite climb into the mystery of being. If you have felt any of this, the disorientation, the beauty, the terror, know that you are not alone. Every soul that wakes up must pass through the fire. The only difference is how you walk through it. You can fight, resist, scream at the loss of who you were. Or you can surrender, breathe, trust, and let consciousness do what it came here to do, evolve. So when life begins to collapse around you, when people leave, when the noise of the world no longer seduces you, remember, this is the metamorphosis. You are dissolving so that something vaster can be born through you. The caterpillar does not understand the cocoon, but the butterfly does not apologize for its wings. And if these words reach you in a moment of doubt, let this be your reminder. McKenna never warned us to fear awakening. He warned us to respect it, to treat it not as a lifestyle trend or an intellectual pursuit, but as a sacred, biological revolution of consciousness itself. Because awakening is not about becoming special, it's about becoming real. So take your time. Let the illusions fall one by one. Let the silence teach you what words cannot. And when you are ready, step back into the dream, not to sleep again, but to illuminate it from within. That is the hidden purpose of awakening. Not to escape the world, but to help it remember. Now, if you've felt this message resonate deep in your chest, if you've glimpsed even a fragment of what McKenna was pointing to, Pause for a moment, breathe, and share your reflection below. What did this awaken in you? Let this be a conversation between travelers of the same path. And if you want to go deeper into the mysteries of mind, consciousness, and reality itself, subscribe, because this is just the beginning. The map of awakening has no end, only infinite doorways. So like this, if it reached you, comment what called to your soul. Subscribe to walk further down the rabbit hole with me, because together, we might just remember what humanity forgot, that the dream of the world is waiting for us to wake up.